we have an incredible community. We have terrific cooperation between the NYPD and a local group here known as the Boro Park Shomrim Safety Patrol. I want to thank them for the work they do. I want to thank the terrific folks here at the NYPD. We have Deputy Inspector Sprague. We have very excited to actually announce tonight new leadership, the new XO. If he can get up and wave his hand, is Captain Bill Russo, who's the new XO of the 66 Police Force. I actually already warned him. We lost the last XO because he did a very good job. So I told this captain he should do a pretty good job. Because if he does an outstanding job, he will quickly be plucked and taken somewhere else. And we like him already. And I want to thank the great Lieutenant Selig, who's here as well, who's always doing terrific work in the community. And I want to thank you all. Actually, it's a terrific question. We're actually working right now with the Department of Sanitation. We met with them last week. We're trying to come up with a final list of routes of what we call through streets. So our concept is, the problem was it was a mishmash and it really wasn't working well. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get an agreement that certain blocks in Boro Park will be through streets. The equivalent of streets in Manhattan, which is no sanitation trucks can go down that block. And that way people will know that every third or every fourth or every fifth block, whatever it is a way to easily get in and out of Boro Park. We're still negotiating the details. But I met with the commissioner a few weeks back. We met with the staff. We're following up. It's something that within the next month we're hoping to have an agreement on. It's a good question. Thank you. I'm privileged to honor two great detectives for their work in the recent 13th Avenue attempted bank robbery. Incidentally, we're going to be honoring the recent heroism of several Shomrim members next month at City Hall. Our first outstanding detective is Detective James Dawson. Detective Dawson is a native of Flatbush, Brooklyn. He has 17 years with the 66 Police Precinct. He started off as an officer, went to the Conditions Unit, the Anti-Crime Unit, and in 2002 went into the Detective Bureau. During the Apple Bank robbery, Dawson apprehended the criminal as he was flushed out through one of the alleyways. After the attacks of 9/11, he patrolled Ground Zero, and in 2005, Detective Dawson went down with the NYPD to New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina to keep the peace. With his spouse, Michelle, they have a 7-year-old beautiful daughter named Madeline, and it's my privilege to present you tonight with a City Council citation. It says, whereas a great city is only as great as those persons who give exemplary service to their communities, whether such service is truly the lifeblood of the community and the city, so often go unrecognized and unrewarded. As a duly elected member of the City Council, I recognize in Detective James Dawson, we have an outstanding citizen, one who is worthy of the esteem of both the community and the great city of New York, September 27, 2010. I'd like to ask our great police commissioner, our inspector, and my favorite chief, Chief Fox, to join us for this.
It's an honor to receive this award. I thank you very much.
The detective is going to be the most popular person here tonight for his short remarks. We appreciate that. That now brings us to our second detective, Detective William or Bill Greer. He grew up in Rockaway Beach, Queens. We don't hold that against him, though. He's a graduate of Nassau County Community College. While at school, Greer was an EMT with the Woodhall Hospital. He started with the NYPD 12 years ago at the 6-6 Precinct as part of the field training unit. After working at the 6-7 and 6-9, he came back to the 6-6, was promoted as a detective in 2008. After 9/11, he was detailed to Lower Manhattan and Ground Zero. And in the Apple Bank robbery on 13th Avenue, after hearing the gunshots, he ran towards the gunshots. A little counterintuitive to run towards gunshots, by the way, just for the record. Before he circled around to 48th Street, where he apprehended the criminal with Detective Dawson, as the criminal was attempting to flee through an alleyway. He's been married to Nancy for 8 years, and he has a wonderful son, Bill Jr. Once again, it's my privilege to present this City Council celebration to Detective William Greer, an outstanding citizen who is worthy of the esteem of both the community and the great city of New York, September 27, 2010. It's a privilege for me to introduce Police Commissioner Ray Kelly at our town hall meeting here in Boro Park tonight. Commissioner Kelly has spent 31 years in the NYPD, serving in 25 different commands. If you ask him, he can actually name all of them in less than 7 seconds. And twice serving as the police commissioner, originally from 92 to 94, and again from 02 to present day. In fact, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Commissioner, in just a few months you will be cumulatively the longest-serving police commissioner in New York City. Am I right? Good. Yes. I just wanted to think about that for a second. This is incredible. You know, the time when New Yorkers are clamoring for term limits, when career politicians are losing their seats, when many in our national leadership have historically low approval rating, there's one constant here in New York City, Police Commissioner Ray Kelly. And folks, this is no coincidence. It's thanks to the strong leadership of Mayor Bloomberg and the faith that he and the citizens of New York have placed in Commissioner Kelly, for good reason, I might add. Commissioner Kelly has seen the city through some of its most difficult times, including the first attack on the World Trade Center, and under his leadership, he's made New York City a safer city each and every single year. But despite this, and this is really what amazes me, he hasn't lost touch with the diverse communities that he serves. Everyone who interacts with the police commissioner in this community, and I mean everyone, marvels at how interested he is even in the slightest details. A perfect example is how the police commissioner rushed to Lutheran Hospital to personally oversee the situation when 4 heroes of the Shomrim Safety Patrol were injured by gunfire while stopping a criminal who was roaming the streets of Boro Park. In fact, the commissioner got to the hospital before I did. Although in fairness, he has lights and signs and I don't. Something you might want to reconsider, giving council members lights and signs. It would be a nice thing. But you know, I like to think of the commissioner not merely as a commissioner, but as a general. He's a general leading the war against crime and the war against terrorism domestically. And in that charge, General Kelly leads a force of over 35,000 officers or soldiers who collectively ensure that New York City is the safest big city in America. I want you to think about that. There are 25 really big cities in America. New York City is the safest. And of the 266 cities with a population of 100,000 or more, New York is in the top 20 of safest city. So crime here in New York City, population of 8.4 million people, is comparable to Sunnyvale, California, population 131,000. But it's not comparable, because aside from good old-fashioned crime, when was the last time Osama bin Laden tried to blow up Sunnyvale, California? And no offense to lovely Sunnyvale, but the answer is never. Because New York is the capital of the world, and as such, it's the #1 terrorist target in the world. And incredibly, since 9/11, under Commissioner's leadership, there has not even been one successful terrorist attack against this city, thanks to the working men and women of the NYPD and the leadership of Commissioner Kelly. And so, I firmly believe that in 50 years, when the history of this great country is continuing to evolve, and the historians look back at the great generals of the past 100 years, they will commend generals like George C. Marshall for winning World War II. They will commend generals like H. Norman Schwarzkopf, who won the Gulf War. And they will commend generals like Commissioner Ray Kelly, who won the war against crime in the city of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to welcome to Boro Park our very own General Raymond W. Kelly.
I certainly have to come in more often. And David introduced me more often. I'm actually getting close to 41 years in the police department, not 31 years. So I've been around quite a bit.
You look so young.
A little bit. Let me thank you, David, for organizing this event. And let me thank all of you for being here. And thank you for your interest in public safety. Because in my judgment, without a doubt, it is the foundation for everything else that goes forward in the community. A community that doesn't have a a feeling of safety, and it just is not going to prosper. It's going to affect everything from family life to business. And I think the secret of some of the successes that David mentioned is our partnership with the communities that we serve. And we certainly have a very strong partnership in Boro Park, no question about it. One of the manifestations of that is the strong relationship that exists with the Shomrim Safety Patrol. And we mentioned the bank robbery, and of course, they were right on the scene, right on the case in dealing with the Apple Bank robbery. They spotted the individual changing the plates on his car. They approached him, a shot was fired. The detectives very appropriately responded and made the arrest. And then just 3 days later, we had the incident where, as they were approaching a suspect, he fired rounds and shot 4 members of the Shomrim Patrol. I mean, they have an awful lot of courage, an awful lot of guts, and we are most appreciative of the partnership and the relationship that we have with the Shomrim Safety Patrol. Let me congratulate, of course, the detectives, as I said, for their very quick response. And I want to congratulate Deputy Inspector John Sprague and the 66th Precinct for all that they do. Crime is down again this year, almost 6% in the 66th Precinct. And you know, the base is very low, so it becomes more and more difficult each year to continue to reduce crime. It's down 30% since 2001. And it's down in Brooklyn South under the very able leadership of Chief Joe Fox. So and it's down, Councilman Greenfield, in all of the precincts in the 44th Councilmanic District. I want you to know that. As you stated, New York is the safest big city in America. The FBI just came out with their statistics last week, and again, just reaffirms that fact. That's the product of an awful lot of hard work by really 50,000 men and women of the New York City Police Department, 35,000 uniformed officers, but 15,000 civilian employees. And they do a phenomenal job. I'm in a unique position to see the work that's done every day. It crosses my desk, and I'm just simply constantly amazed. I'm particularly impressed and amazed by the fact that we have 6,000 fewer police officers than we had in 2001. Now, thankfully, we were able to hire a class, a police academy class. They're in place now being trained, 1,200 officers. The mayor, in a very difficult fiscal environment, saw fit to enable us to hire that class. But we're down 6,000 officers from where we were in 2000. And that puts an awful lot of strain and pressure throughout the department. But men and women of the New York City Police Department have certainly responded as they do time and time again. Something that's worked well for us is Operation Impact. We started that in 2003. That's where we identified pockets where there might be an increase in crimes of violence or shooting, and we take, generally speaking, recruits that just graduated from our police academy class and put them in concentrated form in these areas. We have Operation Impact in place now in the 70th precinct. So we have almost 80 officers in the 70 Impact area. And there are some issues that concern us. That's our business, that's our job. We always have to be focused on what's happening. And certainly the murder of Yoseph Robinson, a young man, he was working in a liquor store, tried to protect his girlfriend. He was shot. And let me tell you that